Part E, good news for you. Yeah, turns out there was a typo. It was supposed to be over sign BAD for that. So the answer would be 6/5. And we're down to the last question. Question 4, right angle triangular prism. And then the dimensions as shown. Find the length of AE. So AE, indicate on your diagram where AE is. AE. To find this length, I need a right angle triangle for me to employ our either Pythagoras theorem or trigonometry. So this slanted line AE, does it look like it belongs to any right angle triangle at the moment? Does it look like it belongs to any right angle triangle? Doesn't look like it to me, but everything's have. Where is it? Huh? A D A E A B E A B. Oh yeah. It belongs to this triangle. Have not? Yeah, right. So must try and find right angle triangle. So if you have a right angle triangle, straight away, we can consider Pythagoras theorem or trigonometry. To use Pythagoras theorem, I need two lengths of the triangle. To use trigonometry, I need either two lengths or one angle, one length. Okay, so in this yellow triangle that was identified, is there any angle that we know? Don't have. Any length that we know? We know one only, right? The AB, 24 cm. Then quite stuck, eh? I mean, we only have two options, right? Pythagoras or Trigo. Pythagoras need two length. Trigo need one angle or two length plus one length. So now how? BE, BE, is that something that we can find? I mean, if we are able to find BE, then I have two lengths, isn't it? And then I can use Pythagoras theorem. Okay, so now our objective is like when you play game, there's a main goal, right? Then now you got a side goal first. Must conquer the side goal to get the whatever weapon or loot that you need. Then you go back to your main objective and fulfill it. So now we need to find BE first. So what's BE? Do we find BE? Yes, this one very obvious already. It's a right angle triangle again over here. So Pythagoras theorem, I got the two length, 10 and 7. So in order to find AE, I need to find BE first. BE. We can do it in one line. 10 square, 7 square. So add them up, square root there. Because BE is our hypotenuse, is the longest side of the green triangle. So this will be square root 149. I do not want to evaluate. I want to leave it as square root 149. This is in cm. So now I've got two lengths and I can find my unknown AE. So the unknown AE is simply, again, by using Pythagoras theorem, AE will be square root of the sum of the squares of the two shorter sides. The shorter side is 24. We square it. Then we need to add the square of the other side. The square of the other side. What is the other side? Square root 149. Put that in, square root 149. And now, can you see the beauty of not evaluating square root 149? Because when you square the square root 149, you get exactly 149 back. That is the reason why we do not evaluate square root 149 for our intermediate step. Sure, you can go ahead and do it, but leave it as 5 SF if you want to use that intermediate value. Okay, 5 SF. But the best is still square root 149. So carry on. We get square root 725. So this will be 26.925, 926. Rounded off to 3SF, 26.9 cm. So go back to your diagram. Does it make sense for this to be 26.9? It is the longer side. So does it make sense? Is it currently the longer side? Yeah, it is. So your answer makes sense. But if you end up, for example, getting an answer that is less than 24, you have to recognize that something wrong already. Cannot be less than 24 because it's the hypotenuse. So that's part A. Part B, angle DAF. DAF. Okay, so this is our angle. We need to find. I'll remove all the distractions first. DAF. Identify the right angle triangle. Very obvious. So because of the way it is drawn, it's a 3D object. It might not look like a right angle triangle to you. So what you can do, recommendation, sketch out that triangle. ADF. So this is the angle we want to find. Put in all the information you have in the triangle you just sketched. So I know the base AD is 10. And I know FD must be the same as EC, which is 7. I've got two sides. I want to find angle. So now we are not going to be using Pythagoras because Pythagoras is going to give me the length of AF. It's not what I want. I want angle. So I have to bring in trigonometry already. Trigonometry, straight away, so we need to decide which one to use. And we decide based on the information that we have. This is our reference angle. I've got my opposite. I've got my adjacent. So which of these has opposite and adjacent at the same time? Only tangent. That's opposite and adjacent. So the other two, remove them. I'm going to be using tangent. So the format is standard. Tangent followed by angle. The angle is the unknown. DAF. DAF. Tangent angle equals to something over something. Based on the word tua. So we've got opposite first. Opposite 7, adjacent 10. Next is to get rid of tangent. We do so by taking tangent inverse. Leaving us with DAF will be tangent inverse 7 over 10. Using our calculator, we find that this is 34.992 degrees. Because we are dealing with degrees, it has to be left in one decimal place. So 35.0 degrees, 1 dp. Last question, to find angle CAE. Anybody need more time for this? The next CAE, go back to the diagram. CAE. Draw. Okay. The reason I'm joining A and C is the reason I'm joining them. Is because they want the angle CAE, and which means that I must join C to A and then to E. Okay, so can you see a new right angle triangle that is formed? CAE. The triangle that I've just formed is this. And I'm certain that this is a right angle. Why? Because this object is on flat surface and EC is a perpendicular line. Why is it perpendicular? They say it is a right angle triangle prism. This is a right angle triangle. So this is vertical. So when I put a pen out vertical, no matter which direction I look, it is still 90 degrees. So this being the triangle, I now need dimensions because in order to find this angle, it is not about Pythagoras, it is about trigonometry. I need angle. So must use trigo. So now put in all the different lengths that you know, all the different distances, and we see what we can use. So the clearest one we have is 7. Okay, so that is for EC. Then we've got either AE or AC that we can find. Earlier on, do you remember we found AE? AE was square root 725. And we can use that. AE square root 725, yeah. So with this, reference angle is our CAE. I've got my opposite. And I've got my hypotenuse. So our torcoso comes right in. Tua, ka, and so. Which of these three has opposite and hypotenuse? Only one. So that tells me I need to write sine, S-O-H, S for sine. Sine of an angle. The angle is the unknown. CAE. Sine of the unknown equals to a fraction. Something over something. Based on what we have memorized. So O comes next. O for opposite, value 7. Next we have H for hypotenuse. H comes next, square root 725, which is simply a number. So sine of this angle gives me 7 over root 725. Angle CAE must be sine inverse 7 over 7 square root 725. You see our calculator, you can get the answer. So this is the value, okay, of I think that's the last question. CAE, yeah. Then go back to the diagram. 15.1 degrees. Does it make sense? Does this angle look like a tiny angle to you? Yeah, it's pretty tiny. So quite confident that the answer is correct. So for our triangles in Sec 2, always look up for right angle triangle. You see right angle triangle, two things: Pythagoras, trigo. I don't want this. Trigo, Picasso. Know the format. Pythagoras, which square plus which square equals to which square, you must know. Okay, so now let's move on to our next revision question topic. We probably will only be able to go through page 1 today. Okay, so let's start. The curve y equals to x minus 1, x minus 6 cuts the x-axis at point A. There are many things that we can take away from this statement already. So I want you to write down some notes together with me. Okay, write it down first. This is quadratic. Quadratic means x power 2. There's a power 2. These are notes, this is a revision. What else? When I see quadratic, I always look out for the x squared term. What is the coefficient of x squared? Coefficient of x squared is, what is it in this case? How to get x squared? X times x star, if you expand it. In this case is 1. 1 is more than 0. It is positive. 1 is more than 0. Positive means I get what kind of shape? Positive. What kind of curve? Smiley face, okay? Can you remember that? Positive, smiley face. Positive is good. So we get this kind of shape. So that's quadratic. Now, because it is written in this format. You know, quadratic, there are two formats, y equals to x minus a and x minus b. So this is one format which is shown in this question. The other format is y equals to ax squared plus bx plus c. These are the two formats. The format that is given in this particular question is useful if you want to find x-intercept. And no surprises there. It says it cuts the x-axis at point A. Point A, and it actually cuts at point D as well. Okay, why do I say it is useful for finding x-intercept? Because, and here is your next note that you need to write down, cuts the x-axis implies, what does it imply? Cuts the x-axis. Implies what? It's x-intercept, but what else? What else? What is the equation of this line? What is the equation of the blue line? Level what? 0. This implies y equals to 0. If you cannot see that, you cannot solve. Zhenjie, what is the equation of the blue line? What is the equation of the blue line? Very good. So now, y equals to 0, where it cuts the x-axis. Put that inside your equation. We end up with, when y equals to 0, x will be 1 or 6. You can see it straight away without calculation. Because when y equals 0, it implies that x minus 1 must be 0. Alternatively, x minus 6 must be 0, leaving us with 1 and 6 only. So these are the two values. X will be 1, x will be 6, implying that two x values where it cuts. One of them will be 1, one of it will be 6. You have to decide, is this going to be the case, 1, 6, or is it going to be 6, 1? Common sense, which one is it going to be? 1, 6 lah. You cannot write 6, 1, right? I mean, once you see that, hey, there are two answers, no? X is 1 and 6. Oh no, how am I going to decide? It's not difficult. It's a number line. So A has the coordinates of 1, 0. D has the coordinates of 6, 0. Next one, write down a line of the equation for a line of symmetry. So I want you to circle the word equation. What must equation have? What must equation have? From the word equation, must have equal sign. Must have equal sign. Okay, so where is the line of symmetry? We can see, we are all visual creatures. We can see that the line of symmetry is here. It is right smack in the middle. It passes through the minimum point. So another note that you need to write, line of symmetry passes through turning point. Turning point could be minimum, could be maximum. Line of symmetry will confirm pass through minimum point. So to find that equation over there, so fast. Your teeth must be very clean. To find that line of symmetry, we know that it is between 1 and 6. What is the number between 1 and 6? No need to do counting. No need to do counting. Just find the average. Find the average of 1 and 6. So the number between 1 and 6 is average of 1 and 6. So these are the notes that I would write down if I were you, to teach myself, to revise myself. So the average of 1 and 6. That means 1 plus 6 over 2, which is 3.5. that number in the middle is 3.5. Okay, when I have positive numbers, it's easy for you guys to do. There will be some of you who are not paying attention and trying this out during the exam. You will think, okay, 6 minus 1 is 5. 6 minus 1 is 5, huh? 5 divided by 2 is 2.5. Then, depending on how sound your logic is, your answer is just going to be 2.5, which is wrong, by the way. Or you will say, okay, in the middle, 2.5 units to the right of 1. So I take 2.5 plus 1, you get 3.5. Then that is the correct approach. But then extra work, can you see the extra work? Okay, that will work. But you must make sure you add 1. But I'm teaching you the simplest way, find average. So during the test and exam, I guess they will probably give something like this. When you have a negative number on one side and a positive number on one side. So for those who are trying to do the method, their own method, find the distance between them, which is 8 units between them. Then they divide by 2 to get 4 units. So far, so good. 4 units. What are you going to do with the 4? If you are smart, if you know what you're doing, you will take 4 plus negative 3 to get 1. Yeah, 1. To get 1. And that is the correct answer. But if you're not, you take 8 divided by 2, you get 4. You're not sure what to do with it already. If you tell me the answer is 4, then obviously wrong. 4 is here, 1. It's obviously not a line of symmetry. Therefore, the best way is find average. Average is 8 plus the other number, which is negative 3. Don't be scared of adding negative number. Divide by 2. 8 minus 3 is 5. What happened? 8, why did I write 8? Sorry, should be 5. 5 minus 3 is 2. 2 divided by 2 is 1. You see that? Get answer straight away. Probably they'll test you this, or if there are one last case that they may have, 2 negative number, negative 10, negative 1, for example. So what's in the middle? So either you view it as, in your mind, you do the conversion 10 and 1, and then you work with positive numbers, then you find the value, then you put in the negative number. That can work. Alternatively, just find the average lah. X equals to add the 2 numbers plus negative 1. So it's negative 11 over 2. Negative 11 over 2. That's the answer. Negative 11 over 2. It's the easiest already. Okay, so whenever you have the 2x values, the 2x intercepts, the center value is our corresponds to a line of symmetry. So I was talking so much about line of symmetry, and that equation, the word must have equal sign. So, you all feel like you learned a lot, right? The answer is 3.5 in this case. So when your answer, you write answer for B, then there's a blank, there's a 1 mark over here, you write 3.5, happy. I learned. I remember Mr. Wong said average, and then turns out 0. Why 0 mark? Because they say equation right. Then must write equal. Okay, so watch carefully. You write equal. Because you remember, must write equal. Equation must have equal. Turns out still wrong. 0. What is missing? Equation must have equal sign, right? Must have left hand side, must have right hand side. What's on the left hand side? X. X equals 2. It is a vertical line. That vertical line has an equation. It is called x equals to 3.5. Now, you get the 1 mark. It is not difficult to get this 1 mark, but it is easy to lose it. Next one, find the y-intercept. Y-intercept of the curve. Again, write notes. What does y-intercept mean? So you go back to our earlier notes. Cuts the x-axis implies y equal to 0. Find the y-intercept implies x equals to 0. These are key concepts that you must Understand? Sec 3, you'll use it a lot. Okay, so find the y-intercept, meaning when x is equal to 0. Substitution, when x is equal to 0, y will be simply 6. That's it. Part D, find the coordinates of the turning point. So earlier on in the notes, remember I wanted you to write this. The line of symmetry will pass through the turning point. In this case, we already have the line of symmetry. It is called x equals to 3.5. Literally telling you that the x coordinate is 3.5 already. We are telling you have recognized that the line of symmetry is x equals 3.5. Think about it. What are you trying to say? The x value is 3.5. The x value over here is 3.5. You just need to find the y value. So what is the y value? It starts off with when x equals to 3.5. You shouldn't use a slash like this. You should either use a fraction or you can use a decimal. 3.5 minus 1, 3.5 minus 6. We are simply substituting back into the original equation. So this is negative 25 over 4. 3.5. Okay, let's be consistent. 7 over 2, comma, negative 25 over 4. So that's the turning point. Wow, even faster. Question 2. The graphs of two linear equations are shown below. Two linear equations. Can see two lines. Not talking about the axis, talking about the two diagonal lines. One sloping up, one sloping down. Now we use this opportunity to do our Sec 1 work. Equation. You need to do. Okay, go. Then you better pack your things because I don't think you can come back in time for the lesson to end. Take your bag with you. Miss recess, super thing. Okay, so here we recap Sec 1 work. This line is sloping. Sloping what? Up or down? Up, sloping up. So gradient more than 0. Okay. Do you have the y-intercept? What is the y-intercept? 6. Y-intercept equal 6. We can do so for the other side also, but it is common sense already. Sloping down, gradient negative, y-intercept also 6. Okay, now they tell us that the area is 48 square units, and the equation for ln, y equals to mx plus c. So question says that this is y equals to mx plus what? Plus c. So plus 6. We know the intercept is 6 already. Might as well write it down. And we know that gradient more than 0, gradient represents the letter, is represented by letter m. So now we know a lot of information already. Y equals to positive number times x plus 6. That is the equation for this slope. They further tell us that the area for this triangle is 48 square units. Then recap. What is the formula for area of triangle? Half times base times height. That is all you know so far. Do you know the base? Don't know yet. This is the base. Do you know the height? Yeah, what's the height? Height equals to 6. Form algebra. Form equation. Half times base times height, which is 6, equals to 48. And we have our base equals to 48 over 3, which is 16. Why over 3? Because half times 6 is 3. So the base is 16. Well, if the base is 16, then what must be this x value? These are things that you can find out, isn't it? So 2 ways to do it. Either use algebra or you just use a bit of logic. Here got 4 units, right? 4 units. Then this one must be 12 units. Use 12 units to the other direction, we get negative 12. We have the x coordinate already. Is that what they want? Yeah, n. negative 12, 0. Okay, so tomorrow we still have 2 more periods. Your previous homework was until page what? Page 2, is it, or 3? Page 2, huh? Then you continue with